There we go. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to another stream. I hope you're all doing fantastic. As always, we're back, and fortunately, we don't have any technical issues this time. Just before we go too far into the stream, I'd just like to say a big sorry, because obviously last week, right before starting the stream, we had some problems, which meant we essentially just couldn't go ahead. So we had to rectify these issues over the course of the last week, and just under a week now, we are back here live on the YouTube channel with the Airbus, well, the whale, you could say, the Airbus A380. And with me today is Laura and Cam. Thank you so much for being on, guys. Obviously, they're going to be here to answer some of the more technical questions today, and some of the questions that I normally can't answer. And of course, Laura will be able to talk a lot about the A380 as well, and what it's been like during the whole development process, as she spent a lot of time on it. So, Laura, Cam, hello. Welcome to the stream.
Hey, Dan. Glad we made this work finally.
Yeah. Thankfully.
We were also all ready to go last week.
Yeah. We was, yeah. It was definitely
some footage and everybody else.
Yeah, it was frustrating. I mean, we got there. We were just as annoyed as everyone else. Like, we literally just got to pressing the start button, and it all literally backfired. And I was like, oh no. It's like the worst thing, the worst timing ever. But of course, we're here, so there we go.
And it was the stress as well for poor Dan, like having all these people waiting. You know, we'd set the date, everything was ready to go. We tried our backup, just wasn't meant to be the day. But hey, we're here today, so here we go.
What can we say? Things happen for a reason, so there we go. Lanes Aviation member now for 9 months. Awesome, glad to have you. I see a couple of new channel members as well. It's awesome to have you on board as channel members here on the channel. Thank you so much. And we also have almost 2,000 people 2,000 people watching live. This is a crazy number, and of course, Jonah, thank you so much for the very kind donation there as well. I really appreciate that. The plan for this stream is I'll just give you a very quick breakdown. I've already briefed Laura and Cam. We're going to take a look around the A380. Obviously, it's the elephant in the room, or the whale in the room. Have a look around the A380, maybe have a little look inside, look around the exterior of the aircraft, and then take it for a test flight around Toulouse. We'll do a couple of circuits. We do have some of our beta testers joining us today as well. If we just pan the camera around to our left here, you can see there's a few other A380s parked up as well. So very exciting. Towards the end of our circuits here at Toulouse, we'll go ahead and do like a little formation, a low and slow fly pass over Toulouse with everyone formed up, which should be pretty fun. Hopefully we can ace that if everyone's being a pro pilot today. And then later on in the stream, if we have enough time, we'll go ahead and spawn in at Honolulu in the ANA liveries, which would be really cool to show you, of course, on the stream as well. So with that being said, I'm not going to stall for too long. Guys, let's get straight into the stream. Laura and Cam, if you see any questions, feel free to ask them. With that said, let's have a little look around. In fact, no, before we have a little look around, tell us how excited you are to have a little look around the aircraft right now, and then we'll slowly pan around, have a look at the plane. How much do you really want it? Do you really want to see the plane? Maybe we could just sit here and not show it. Cam, I think we should go and spawn in the A350.
Yeah, I think the A350 would be cool. It's got the new OIS that we added as well, so that's pretty
Indeed.
exciting.
Yeah, that was I completely forgot about that now. That's a really fun game.
Yeah.
Maybe
a game?
we could
There's a game?
we
What game?
could demo that.
It's not even
Maybe.
Easter egg. Yeah.
There's a game?
There's also those bug fixes. We could just do a demo of those. I'm sure people would love to see that.
Yeah?
Yeah. Some server code.
Ooh, yes.
All of the complicated stuff that I sometimes look at and go, this is not a bit of me.
Yeah. So I'll get your whiteboard out. I'll get mine out. Let's go.
Yeah. Just very quickly before we go too far and before we look around the A380, hop up the stairs and have a look inside, we'd just like to ask all of you in the chat right now, all of you watching, how is the audio? Does it sound okay? I like to ask this before every single stream because we love things to be perfect. Once we have a little bit of clarification on that, then we'll go ahead and just roll straight into it. Leo, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Can't wait to fly the beast. Hi, I'm from Italy, Florence. Well, hello from the UK. Audio's okay. Great. Okay, cool. Right, with that said, let's have a little look around the airplane, shall we? Starting with the exterior. We'll hop inside in just a moment. Whilst I do this, Laura and Cam, feel free to sort of like jot down questions or pick out questions ready to answer them in just a minute, because this bit's pretty exciting looking around the plane. Here we go. Would you look? Two of the however many wheels are on the A380. That's very many. We'll just go around, we'll walk around to the left like we're doing a walk around, a pre-flight check before flying the aircraft. One thing that would be pretty interesting is if we just go onto the ground services here and open up the cargo door while we're here, just to quickly show you. Just like that. Very nice, pretty awesome stuff. We'll continue our walk around whilst the crew go ahead and load the cargo for this flight, even though it's a circuit flight. We need a little bit of weight so we can see those wings flexing. Here are the engines, very nice. These are the Rolls-Royce ones, and the huge, and I mean huge, massive wings. And it's really nice. I mean, flying this plane around in beta has been pretty cool, especially when you're parked next to like a CRJ or an A320 or something like that. This plane is absolutely monstrous. It's huge, and it's definitely a beast. And Laura, I'm sure it's been a beast and an absolute challenge to develop, right?
Yeah, it's been more of a grind than the other ones. We originally had a plan to ship it in December, but the timing was just too aggressive, and it didn't work out. We had to push it to January, and then to this update here. It's just since the plane is much bigger, there's a lot more detail that we need to fix. There's a lot more wheels, a lot more exits. Everything is globally more complex. And the cockpit, even if the instruments are similar to the 350, they were actually in different screens. The 350 has those large kind of like landscape panels, and the 380 still has separate screens, so we had to like split them in different screens. So that took a little bit of time. And we also had to have support for things like reverse, not on all the engines.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
the 380, except if you're apparently someone with a lot of money to change that, only the inner engines actually have reverse. So we had to support this because I initially only had reverse shown, but the testers are like, if I shut down the middle engines and activate reverse, the reverse still works. So I had to support the fact that if an engine is... So some engines can have reverse and some cannot at the engine level. Before it was based on the airplane itself. But this had to be changed. So there's a little bit of detail, and we also have, I think it was shown in the trailer, when the engines are off, the controls surfaces that are hydraulic go down. So that came with a few different kinds of issues, because you have to figure out when the hydraulics come back on, what the animation is, and all those kinds of things, and how they mix with the other parts of the dancing ailerons and all those kinds of things. But it was a little bit more of a challenge compared to the other ones that we've built in the past.
And I think this is also a good thing to say, you know, how much Infinite Flight's aircraft model has improved in terms of physics. Like, you know, we started off with, what was it, like a Cessna 172, so it's only one engine, fixed set of wings, and, you know, each aircraft's got its own quirks, its own differences, and, you know, they seem trivial on the outside, but that means a rewrite to something internally. You've got to go and change your physics engine, or you've got to go change how our configuration files are set up. So it's good for us in that sense. It's a good challenge always, I feel, to improve our aircraft and add more fidelity. But it's something you've got to think about.
And there's something that sometimes it's hard to convey to non-technical people, and sometimes users who are on the outside, is the compounding of adding features. Sometimes they may look trivial to the outside, but when you're actually working on the feature, you see all the potential other problems that come after you add the feature. So for the ailerons, we had to set, like the dancing ailerons, we didn't support multiple aileron surfaces, so we had to split them in different parts, and that meant, does it work also in multiplayer? Because do we send this information over, split in multiple pieces, and all the other planes now that have those kinds of systems will have to be implementing this, because otherwise people will complain. So it compounds, like every plane takes longer, because the things that were requested one by one for each generation of planes, now we have to do all of them at once for every new plane. So that's why things take a little bit longer with each update.
Laura, what would you say was the most like complicated and taxing part of building the A380, making it work?
There are two things that come to mind. One is the landing gear.
Okay.
Because it has different ways to move. Like the front goes in the back ones go frontwards, and the other ones are different.
Mm-hmm. Like the tilt?
Yeah. The tilt is like not like the other ones, and the tilt retraction is also like different. And the other one was the autopilot.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure exactly why I struggled so much for this one. I'm guessing it's because the wings are so heavy that all the gains that I had configured by default for a lot of the other aircraft just didn't work out for this one. So I had to go back and retune it. There was a lot of bugs that were filed on the 3D, and the kind of bugs that you see on the autopilot are where it oscillates around the target, or it'll overshoot by too much, or stabilize outside an acceptable range. So for example, you say you want to maintain a certain heading or a certain track on VNAV, for example, and it's going to stabilize 0.1 nautical miles to the west or the east, depending on how much wind you have. and sometimes I'll make the fix to make it really, stick to the track, but that causes side effects of when we have a sharp turn, the the LNAV will take a long time to correct back, or it'll overshoot because it's too aggressive. So that part is a pain.
So it sounds ridiculously complicated, if I'm honest. So I'm glad you do this stuff, and I don't. I just fly them on streams.
Right.
I do the easy part.
But then we get to enjoy it on the stream, so that's pretty cool.
Well,
Exactly.
yeah.
If we were showing this, it wouldn't look anywhere near as professional, Dan.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be very quiet.
Yeah.
Laura,
Very
you-
quiet. It would just have like Laura's like screen being shared, and then the rest of us are just the voices. We could do it.
Laura, you mentioned about the obviously the hydraulic power and whatnot when the engines are off. I'm gonna fire up the engines now. Just start with engine 1 and just show everyone what that looks like when it all starts to come to life.
Okay, so for the nitpicky people around there, the amount of time it takes and all this is probably not accurate, but it's just a rendition of it.
I mean, it simulates,
Yeah.
what it does in real life, and that's really what matters at the end of the day.
And there was one thing that was brought up when this was added. People were like, "What about the rudder? Shouldn't the rudder surfaces move left or right?" And turns out they're actually going with the wind, so they're not constrained at all on the ground. So they just go in a direction the wind pushes them.
And then-
direction of the rudder.
Then you also had a bunch of other issues that the beta testers uncovered, right? Like being able to, if the engine's all turned off in the air, suddenly your hydraulic system still needs to stay active. Like at the actual Airbus, you'd have different hydraulic systems, which is a little bit complex for us to simulate. But I mean, what happens if you?
Yeah, they have two. They have two hydraulics, I think, and like some electrical.
Is it? And doesn't I'm not sure. Like certain engines control certain hydraulic parts of the plane.
Yeah,
on
there's
the
something like
380.
it's like super redundant.
Right. Yeah.
And like some control surfaces have like hydraulic and electrical as a backup or as a damper. It seems super complicated. And like when you read the docs and you imagine the plane has been discontinued, and like all the effort that went into this, and it was just in like built for 10, 15 years.
Yep.
It's heartbreaking.
Oh yeah.
To imagine like all the corner cases, and it's pretty crazy. They even think of like, there was a crazy part of a manual that I saw where they talk about if there's a threat of a bomb on board, the procedure for this. Like crazy. There's a procedure.
Well, that's aviation though.
Yeah.
There's an answer to
But, like,
everything.
They had to go into the manual and like write the procedure and all the stuff that you have to do. It's so much effort. Can't even imagine, what they have to do to go through to build like a big airplane like this.
Yeah, it's definitely a shame that it's been discontinued. It's definitely 100% one of my favorite aircraft. I think it has to be up there as one of my top 2 favorite planes, and I'm sure it's your favorite, Laura, isn't it? Maybe or something like that. Is civil aviation one?
True, right? Yeah, I loved it. I flew the Air France one quite a bit between LA and Paris when I lived there, and then New York and even San Francisco. The last time I flew on it was November 2019 with my daughter, and we had no idea it was the last time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like we look at the pictures now, we're like, oh man.
Well, you can still fly with other airlines, though.
I know, but like it's just, it's kind of a shame.
Yeah.
They were supposed to like have it online for a few more years and even retrofit the cabin of a few. They just just went down. They took the decision pretty quickly too. Like at mid-pandemic, they're like, oh, we're done.
I think
Was it-
the COVID that had a big impact on, aviation as a whole, but also the A380.
Air France was during the pandemic. They decided to retire it. This one as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had the same experience with the BA747. I remember the last time I flew it was back from FS Expo in Vegas.
Oh no.
And I took a picture of it being, this is cool, a nice angle from where we parked, and little did I realise that was the very last time we get to fly it, so...
That's a shame.
It is. Thanks, COVID.
I think I only ever flew on the 747-400 twice, and that was it.
Was it with the BA or the Virgin?
Yeah, Virgin.
Nice.
Virgin. Never BA, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean,
They were old.
the 7-4 only a couple times with Air France. It was loud. I went to the upper cabin. For some reason on Air France, the upper cabin was economy, which is weird.
Oh, yeah?
And it was really loud by the door. I remember the whole time I was like, why is it so loud? But yeah.
You just tell the difference nowadays flying in the newer planes. Like flying the A380, like Dan and I flew it back from Oshkosh last year. What a difference to how you arrive. Like you fly in any of the older planes afterwards, you notice that you're just so much more tired. It's really a testament to the engineering that first a thing like this flies, and second, you know, even the ridiculous things like the showers or the suites they put inside the planes, and still it's a plane. Like it's the same physical fundamentals as a 172.
Just on a giant scale.
Indeed.
Laura, we mentioned, you know, obviously the most stressful part of developing this plane. What was the best part? What was your highlight, your fun moment with the A380?
Just enjoying flying it. Just like testing, even if it's stressful, just flying it, going through some YouTube videos and trying to reproduce the behavior. There's one that I like is I think it's the first 3D landing of Lufthansa at San Francisco.
Oh yeah?
That video is pretty cool. And I had, so we have a way in the sim to save aircraft positions. So basically the same way users today have flight resume.
Right.
We have ways to use this as developers to save a particular position, and it reloads the whole flight and everything. And so that's what I was using for approaches. So I was setting up the plane like in the video, playing the video at the same time, and following whatever like commands they were saying, like flaps 2, speed 180.
That's pretty cool.
And just trying, like whenever they have like they had shots of the PFD trying to capture, like, okay, they're heading 110, 6,000 feet, descending like this much, and trying to match whatever N1 I could find around that time.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
Well, speaking of fun, we are now officially taking off for the first time with the A380 on the YouTube channel. And this is actually my first time taking off. I hate to say it, but I'd much prefer flying in the HUD view, and this is my first time flying it in the actual virtual cockpit. So this could end badly. I think, especially when we come into land, I probably will hit the ground quite hard. But we'll see. Let's get in the air and have a look at it.
It'll be fine. The Airbus is easy.
Yeah. Just set it to land itself, couldn't we?
You could. Infinite Flight's got a great feature for that.
You know what I like about the 380 in Infinite Flight now? It genuinely feels like a heavy plane. That's the first thing I said as soon as we got our hands on it in beta. Said it to Laura straight away. It feels heavy. Like it's a really cool plane to fly in Infinite Flight. It feels totally different to like the A220, for example, which is really nice.
Yeah. The wings are really heavy.
I also want to just shout out Laura's ability to, you know, be told, because our beta testers are great. They go back and forth. They have so much knowledge on how the A380 flies, but Laura's able just to pick out the bits of information and apply it to our physics model, making it seem easy, even though it's definitely not easy. So it's really great now. So looking forward to see what people think when they get their hands on it.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the first ones where we actually have the engine part of the wing flex. Because most of the other ones we don't have wing flex that starts at the engine. This one's pretty cool. You can see the engine, like the outer engine's kind of moving.
Yeah, this is it. Actually, do you know what? That'd be a really cool thing to demonstrate here. I'll get straight and level. We'll go ahead and do that in just a moment. Cam, I can see you spawned back there.
Oh, oh yeah, I opened it just before the stream started. Crazy, there's so many A380s. All of beta are out.
It's actually a bit windy here, which is nice because it means we'll be able to show those dancing ailerons in just a minute. Which, by the way, I am absolutely so happy are coming. It's like the best thing.
They do look nice, and they should follow the specification in terms of how they work. So the inner one is the one that goes first. The outer one I think goes like a percentage of the inner one, and the middle one goes like the outer one with a delay. Or however many milliseconds. And we should be like pretty close to what it actually is in real life.
Let's have a look at them, shall we? Just rock the wings as hard as I can. It's very calm, actually, right now. Sort of see them moving a bit, but let's go ahead and just turn off the heading, the autopilot. Just move the flight controls a bit.
𝗖𝗛𝗔𝗡𝗚𝗏 traffic. Echo Charlie 123. Taxiing to runway 14 right.
Yeah,
Like a wing wave.
It's really nice.
This is nice. Looks really, really cool. Also, if we do an aggressive turn, let's see here.
Laura, I guess you had to have even more wing flex for this plane than most of the other planes too. Did that require any changes to support it properly?
Not really, but there's one thing that I may have to adjust. We don't have time for this update, but since there's so much down flex for this one, I may have to like make the flex non-linear for when the plane's in the air, because it doesn't look like there's enough when it's in the air, especially at lighter weights.
Oh yeah, but this is also kind of cool. I've noticed when you take off, really heavy, the wings are flexing loads, and then when you get towards your destination, they aren't flexed as much. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, the way I do it is I compute the force, the total force on the wings, that it takes to lift the plane versus how much the plane weighs at the current time. And believe it or not, that works. If you do a little bit of math on that, it gives you an approximate wing flex.
Nice.
And it works pretty well. And when you see the wings not being even, it's because there's an actual turbulence at that section. Like when only one of the wing is going to bounce, it's because there's like for some reason there's turbulence that's going up or down, and it's causing that wing in particular, or a section of the wing, because it's not the whole wing, it's by sections. That section of the wing that's losing or gaining lift compared to the other one.
It's quite cool.
Yeah.
Didn't realize we did that. It's nice.
Oh, you have to think of the plane in infinite flight as it's a physical object that's being lifted by forces that are computed based on the angle of attack and the speed and air density and all this. So if you let go of all the forces, it falls like a rock with momentum since you're moving. But that's the whole point of it. So when we're doing an automated approach, we're controlling the actual surfaces. So in theory, this could work on an actual airplane. It's not. We don't integrate everything into one position of the plane. The plane's moving, and we just control the surfaces based on what we get.
Just focusing here. Laura and Cam, if you see any questions that are really pressing, you want to answer them in the chat.
Yeah.
Someone said, someone donated, thank you so much. So when will the update come out?
When will it come out? That's a good question.
Very good question.
Shall we say?
We can say Apple approved it today.
Yeah.
We were rejected yesterday for something. Nothing to do with DMA or anything we have said on Twitter about them. it was a legit reason this time. But we fixed it. Cam fixed it yesterday, and we sent a new one back, and they approved it today.
Yeah.
Update
So
approved.
the new exciting feature that everyone's asked for, you can now delete your account in Infinite Flight as well. So that'll be coming soon. I did see someone was asking that. Wait, did I just see role spoilers? Did they see role spoilers, Dan?
Yeah, they probably did. Yeah.
Minor detail. They have to show it.
I just really aggressively
like-
rock the plane here. There you go.
For all of those features, you have to thank Jason and Tyler for pushing me to do them.
It turned out really nicely in the end.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm really glad we have those like extra features, and it definitely brings it to life a lot more.
I think bringing it to life's a good way of describing it, Dan. It's cool. I flew it the other day when the A320neo/737 Max contest was going on, and it just something about it just feels so cool flying it. Like when you're surrounded by all sorts of other aircraft, the aircraft feels so large, but you also, you know, all the animations it has, the detail of it, it just feels great to fly. It just, I don't know, it feels majestic. Let's put it that way.
And like I said, it genuinely feels heavy to fly, which is honestly one of my favorite things about it. Especially when you take off and you're doing, like I did a flight from Dubai to Auckland. So obviously it's a very long flight, around 15 hours or so, maybe a little bit longer than that. And it was heavy. This thing, like, it was hard to leave the ground. Like you had, you know, flaps 2, trim at like 30+%. You're really pulling back to get off the ground, and then once you are airborne, you still got to maintain that back pressure so that the plane sort of stays stable. It's very nice. It feels very cool to fly.
Yeah, as Yusuf says in the comments, all this for a mobile game. Just shows.
Exactly. I am on... Oh, actually, that's very quickly. Let me just enable autopilot again and then disconnect it. Beep, beep, beep. There we go. Airbus sounds. I'm coming for a landing here, so full focus on my end. I'm going to go full flaps and drop the landing gear.
There's a lot of A380s there.
There's a lot of 380s. Didn't even realise we had this many beta testers.
Yeah.
So I don't realise.
Great. And beta testers were saying they weren't going to be available because of the Formula 1, but they still made it out.
We're here in full force.
Yeah.
1,000.
I have a couple questions that I found.
Go for it.
Someone was asking if why don't we ship the Android update before iOS? We used to do that back in the day when we didn't have proper ways to build like everything, the app basically. Back in the days, I was building the binaries on my computer and sending to Apple. So sometimes we made some errors, but now that we have competent people like Cam, who built what we call a CI, so continuous integration, and it basically just builds every time we check in something. It builds the code and sends it to the stores automatically. So it's easier for us to have a reproducible process. So let's say like 1 week or 2 before the release, we're gonna segregate the code for the release, so it's like protected and nobody else touches it, except if it's a bug fix for that particular update. And that way there's no risk of breaking something. So we don't really have to ship on Android first now. We would do it if there's like a very sensitive thing that we just updated and that we're not sure it's going to work at scale. For the simple reason that it's easier for Android to publish things without having approval. So if something goes wrong, we can see it quickly. And they also have a better way to stage rollouts compared to iOS. iOS has stage rollouts, like meaning it sends the app to users by stages. So we could say we just want 5% of the people to have it, and we can see how it goes. And if we see crashes, we can halt the rollout and fix it before it goes to everybody and everybody complains. So
even crashes, but there's been times we've used it. For example, I still remember one exceptional update when Google went down and then Facebook went down. One of the big providers went down, so a lot of the internet wasn't working. We'd already started the Android rollout at that point, but you know, we don't want to. This is going to be extra pressure for us, not being able to potentially connect to our servers or to any of our services that we need, or for our support if people are reaching out saying they can't download the update because of these outages. So with Google, it's great because we can just pause the rollout, we can cancel it. So it gives us some time to you know, fix the issue, make sure that we can re-upload it. With Apple, once it's out there, it's out there. So we have, I think we have a few more people on iOS that are testing it, and so usually we're using iOS and Android as well internally, so we get a good idea of stability and things, but it's good to have a little bit of the backup as well.
Another question, what is the dev button? So the dev button is
Got magical stuff in
developer. Yeah, so there's like plenty of magical things in there. There's different menu options in there, so to change the altitude, to just reload the plane, reconnect to a server, tons of things that we could have to do as developers. And the menu that Dan has is a reduced menu, the one that Cam has.
How dare you! I demand the full
We
thing.
just don't trust.
No.
I want to click on everything. Sometimes there's items in there you just don't want to click because things can happen.
It's the technical difficulties button.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Things can go wrong. That's why we don't expose it. And we know if we have a button, you guys are going to press it. You know, and then...
Well, that's true. That's very true.
We've got a subset of beta testers that always, if we send that to beta for testing or by mistake, they instantly pick up on it, and we see all the crash reports coming in from these buttons that only work on our PC build.
The question I saw... Oh, sorry.
No, sorry, Mitchell, thank you so much for the donor. Also, Lucas, thank you so much for the $20. That's greatly appreciated. You really didn't have to do that, but cool to have you here. Thank you so much.
So there was a question about, since the 380 took longer and there's like takes more time to build airplanes, is it going to take longer to release the 737 MAX 8? I would say no, but don't quote me on that. It is a smaller plane, so there's less detail. There's only one cabin to do, not multi. You know, there's less doors. We don't have to do a plug for that one, unless it's certain configurations of seating. But yeah, like it should be faster, hopefully. Let's just say work may already have started on that. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Possibly.
I think we just need to remember as well just how big the A380 is. Loads of people bring up the time it took, but it's a massive aircraft. Like, compare that to like the Challenger, the previous aircraft we did. The size difference is massive. I would encourage people to do that. Just grab a friend, grab someone else, go spawn a Challenger next to an A380 and compare the size.
Oh, yeah. This thing
Another
is
question
huge.
I saw. Sorry. Another question was, are we gonna have the tool option for pushback? Because I think they may have seen it on your screen. Yes. We just need to have proper support for the. So there's two things that we need. One is we need proper support for messaging ground, so people understand what you're doing and why you're going so slow. And the second thing we need, that's two, is proper synchronization of ground services. So you see somebody else on the screen with a tug that you know they're actually being towed and not randomly moving, and it's a bug. So there's two things we need. Cam can talk about the synchronization of GSE, so ground service equipment, because we've made some progress on that. Unfortunately, we couldn't ship it for this update, but there has been some progress.
Yeah, I think most of you would have seen it in our A380 first look video as well. We had the pushback tugs for other aircraft showing and the ground service equipment. We were testing this. We were building this in for the ground service equipment that connects to your aircraft, but also the ones that belong to airports, so like jet bridges. Made some nice progress, but as with everything, there's always bugs that come up and other issues that we've got to go and spend time on. So we decided quite late in the cycle that we were just going to leave this for the next update. We're still working on it. I've been looking at that code this week a little bit. There's definitely lots we can do there. But yeah, just to share some of the challenges. For example, we need to consider things like if we synchronize the position of your ground service equipment. If you go far away from that aircraft and then come back, we still need to know that it's there. We need to know if you load into a new airport, we've got to get a whole list of everything that's attached. For ground service equipment, think jet bridges. We've got to think, what if you crash while you're at the gate or you end your session? We need to also remember like where the jet bridge position needs to move to when it disconnects, which we have in the app, but until now we didn't have on the server, so that needed a little bit of data processing to make it work. So right now it's looking quite good. Laura and I still got to do a bit of work on that. We're doing some architectural changes to multiplayer for the next update, which is part of the fixes we're doing for some of the crashes that caused us to delay the update last week. But I'm pretty confident that we should be able to include it in the next update. That should be the start of a lot of cool features that we can build off of that.
Looking forward to it.
It is cool though. It is cool. I can't wait. There's something just even in testing, just like coming back and just seeing my A380 with all 3 jet bridges attached.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, it's almost working. Basically, we had it working, just a few quirks to fix, and hopefully soon we'll have it.
Yeah, it's the old saying in programming that 90% of the work takes 10% of the time, and then the last 10% takes 90% of the time. So made it work, but now we've got to consider, it's going to be several thousand people that come and go across the multiplayer server every day. You're going to have events like this one, events like our Neo event where everyone was all together. That was that adds a few challenges as well, that we've got to make sure it synchronizes properly. But finally it's coming together. It's been a lot of groundwork over the last year. I'd say last year we spent a lot of time, all of us on the dev team, trying to build this up so it could be easy to implement, and it's at a good point. So for example, like missions were a massive help for this, because that enabled us to have the right data that we need from airports on the server, so that the server knows everything about the airport and not just about the aircraft. So loads of little things kind of like are intertwined, and eventually if you change one thing or add a new feature for one part of the app, it will impact the other feature, another feature elsewhere. Or just for us, if we have a bug fix, we suddenly say, oh, there's this new bit in the code that lets us do this more easily than we thought.
I'm going to do a very quick low pass. Just very conscious of the time. We're eating into the stream quite a bit. 15 minutes to go. We still really want to go to Honolulu. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick low pass here at Toulouse with looks like someone up here as well. And then we'll land, despawn, head over to Honolulu, and all of our beta testers that are watching, feel free to spawn there in one of the ANA liveries.
The questions that I've seen, someone's asking about Project Metal and aircraft lighting and clouds and stuff. So all those improvements are still underway. We actually did go through a big milestone this week with running this updated code on device. So Philippe made quite a bit of progress lately about this. But it's like it's changing the whole. I think I mentioned it on past streams. That we're changing the whole pipeline for all the content. So all the planes have to be adapted to this new pipeline. The rendering system is different, and we'll have a whole bunch of things that are going to look different. The clouds, the way the atmosphere looks, it's just a grind, because we have to make this work on devices. And we're hopeful. Hopefully, we'll have something to share soon. And we fly sometimes on that branch, and it looks magnificent.
Showed Dan that branch when he was flying out of here to go to film a video for our channel, and I still remember seeing his face. It was awesome. I can't wait to show more people.
What was this, Cam? Sorry, I was completely zoned out then. I was just trying to focus. I almost stalled the plane above the runway. I completely forgot to set the autopilot.
That special new renderer that I showed you on the PC.
Oh, yes. Yes. Very exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah, loads of things going on in the background. Like, I think this year is the year that things are coming together, so
Yeah.
we'll have those.
There's lots of things that we've been working on for the past like 2-3 years, even more than that are finally coming together. And it's sometimes hard as developers to convey this, even like internally when we have these really long-term projects that we're trying to build that are going to unlock so many things, and we have to work on tiny things that look important, but they're more like short-term happiness things, where we're trying to focus on like the longer-term issues.
Right.
Yeah. Someone's asking if the A380 is going to be free. The answer is no, because people make us pay for stuff. So, unless everything was for free, we would do this, but we can't.
Also, obviously, a lot of time and effort's gone into the 380 as well.
So I'm saying, like, the artists don't want to do it for free. I don't want to do it for free. So, I mean, if someone wants to come and work for free to do this work for free, they're welcome to come and do it for us. I'm sure they need to pay for rent or something.
There's loads of engineering going on, and we've got to consider as well,
Yeah.
how we deliver this aircraft model to everyone, how we, this live server, running a game like this is quite logistically involved. And when we offered the old A380 for free, it was a very different time. I still remember when that update came out, because that was when I downloaded Infinite Flight for the first time, and that was a very different time. I was playing that on an iPod Touch, and now Dan's iPad is infinitely more powerful than that.
That's crazy. I mean, in the OG days, the Half Moon Bay 737 days.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And this is actually the third iteration of the 380.
Wait, it is?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
First
we used to have like a
Yeah.
really old one.
Yep. We had a really old one, and then we had an update to that one.
So a double rework.
Yeah. But I think it's the first one that we reworked for the third time.
Damn. History repeats itself.
Someone's asking any developer opportunities at Infinite Flight. Best way is, I mean, you can send us your resume. You never know.
I'm gonna have a look at some questions as well now that we're sort of. I'm just gonna fly slowly here because it's time to land. So I'll also focus on the chat a little bit.
Yeah. Are you landing it from the cockpit, Dan, or are you going to use
I am, yeah. I'm gonna try and land it from on the first touch and go. I used the virtual cockpit, and it was a very unstable and scary approach. But I'm gonna try it again, see if I can do it nice and smooth. It's just a huge, like I say, it's a huge plane, and like handling this thing, you feel it. Seriously, you feel it, and it's gonna be very cool. You'll know exactly what I'm trying to say when you get your hands on it on release day.
Yeah, it's exciting.
What are the other two Emirates liveries? You'll have to find out on release day. Of course, it's been great fun showing you lots of whip shots and videos and all of that good stuff. It's great. We love to do it as well. But also, it's nice to leave some surprises. So there are some liveries that we haven't shown that you'll be able to explore and have fun with on release day.
Yeah, still some that are still getting a few touch-ups here and there as well. So yeah, I've seen a person ask if there's still any more model improvements or livery improvements coming. There's still a few fixes being pushed. The artists are still working on a few last-minute things, but we're nearing completion at this point. I think we may do a few updates after the initial release if there's things that still needs to be worked on, but I think we're pretty happy at this point, and I don't think we would be allowed to get away with another delay.
Yeah.
People would make that clear to us.
The plane themselves, we oftentimes will push updates to the planes without, like, after the release, because we have the testers and people looking at those models, and if we see something that's terribly wrong, we can update the model or the flight physics without having to send an update through Apple. That's not or to send a new version to Android as well.
Secret updates.
Someone's asking if we ever considered a PC release. Yes, that's something that I personally would love to see. Because I am playing on PC quite a bit. On my,
Flex.
I have to test.
You don't have the PC version then?
No, I
Yeah.
don't. You guys won't give it to me.
You have to be close to the users. We need actual user experience. But yeah, like if it's something you're interested, just feel free to vote for it on the forum and
Yep.
suggest it. There are some things to consider when implementing a PC version. But yeah.
Let's see other planes like Airbus planes with A330 going to get the same aileron thing too. Well, no, the Airbus A380 is the one that has the dancing aileron, so you won't see that on a 320, for example.
Yeah, this is a per aircraft thing, so we need to go back and do it, and we'd rather go back to improve an aircraft when we fully go back and commit to doing a rework of it. It's just too much. Like we have so many aircraft now that it's a lot of time.
Runway 14 right.
We've also got some great airports coming in this update as well, Dan.
How many have we got?
You got I think it's 70 or so, if I remember.
70?
But, yeah. There's like, what was the one, your favorite, Dan? There was one that you were orchestrating.
One of my favorite airports that I was building.
No, there was Tokyo, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I wasn't.
I hadn't
I wanted to do that, but the editors actually went full speed on that, like really, really quick. They did an amazing job. Very, very fast work. So I'm glad to see that that's
Shout out.
coming in this update.
Shout out to them. Honestly, did a great job. We've got that. Dubai's had a touch up as well. We should have the 3D model for Dubai coming as well. Yes, Laura, I just revealed it. Sorry. Yeah, so I think we showed it at some point, but we have a custom 3D model for Dubai Airport, so that will look really cool with all the multiple Emirates liveries.
And that was a stressful one too, because like I think it was a couple of months ago when the editors were like, "We're just gonna redo everything."
Everything. Yeah.
We're like, guys, we're like kind of shipping with the 380. They're like, it'll be done.
And they did.
The chatting of
And they delivered. It's like
Delivered, yeah.
unbelievable.
Alexander did a great job with that. He was asking me like, "Do I have enough time?" I said, "You can do it. We believe in you."
Big shout out to all the editors. Unbelievable, things that they can deliver. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool stuff.
380 heavy, holding short runway 14 right.
Let's see what's going on here. What besides the A380 is coming in the update? Well, of course, we do also have the Airbus sounds as well, which is very exciting. When you fly other Airbus aircraft, you'll also hear those very cool disconnect sounds for the autopilot and, of course, the GPWS callouts. What else have we got coming in this? Liveries. Maybe we won't confirm too much.
Yeah, there's some liveries for the other planes as well. I was actually working on that today.
Toulouse Blagnac traffic. Golf Alpha Lima Echo X-Ray Super is clear.
Let's see. What are the new liveries aside the A381s? You have to wait and see until release day. We haven't actually shared very many whip shots to do with those, but there's a small handful of liveries coming, and you'll be able to spawn in with those and fly them around when we drop the update. So keep your eyes peeled.
Some questions about the spirals. I think people have noticed that some may be missing the spirals in some engines. They should be
Rolls-Royce?
back. I saw a message today from the artist that it was fixed. I have to push the update for this.
Cool.
I think they were visible, but we call it an ambient occlusion map that was on top of it. It basically controls like self-shadowing, basically, and that was shadowing the effect. And there's a question about the AP sounds. I think it's been mentioned, but yes, those sounds are the AP disconnect and GWS, or GPWS, apparently how it's called.
Is that, wait, really? You pronounce it like that?
I saw this. Who was it? It was Blanco Lirio in his latest video, or one of his videos recently. he called it Jipwis. So-
Jipwis.
GPW. Yeah.
I
don't
mean,
know.
fair enough.
Maybe that's how they say it. Anyway, so those sounds are going to come for all the Airbus aircraft.
We've got a few cool new things in this update as well that we haven't talked about. There's I can share a couple of the small things. So you can now set your time for your flight on the home screen before you start. So you can, I think you can choose at least the time you can set it, so you don't have to start at night time anymore if it's night where you're starting. There's a new replay auto delete feature we've added, so you can turn this on if you're an existing user, and it will automatically delete the old replays so it doesn't fill up your storage. That'll be really neat for all the people that like to do long hauls. And we'll have a bit more information about that in our release post, but just a few small tweaks like that. And obviously the grade requirements have been changing as well. So if you were once grade 3 and lost it because you haven't flown much in the last 90 days because you've been busy, we'd love to have you back on the expert server. So that's gone now. That'd be cool. It'll be nice to get a lot more people on there as well.
I'm really fighting the winds right now.
Dan's about to land.
This is difficult.
100,
Major Tom's judging.
50, 40, 30, 20,
When on the ground, you should
10,
show
retard,
that little game you were talking about.
Well, that's a nice landing, actually. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that.
We don't reveal how it is.
How can I?
Evil.
Maybe I won't show it there. Oh, no. We created a thread on the forum, Laura.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't. I've been too busy fixing bugs.
There's a Qantas.
Ryan in the comments asked me if I should accidentally leak the release date like I did for the A220 stream.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, that was It should be this week. Coming.
I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
It won't be tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday, and we really respect weekends at Infinite Flight. And people of us usually take the day off.
Someone did ask like if it was going to be today.
Yeah.
Like we would have done releases back in the day when it was just Philippe and me because we were just crazy. But now it's just
It's crazy, and you had smaller families and more sleep and things like
more
that.
obligations and
Exactly.
things like that. Yeah. Now it's a little more. We have social duty. I have a dinner party at friends tonight.
Golf
So I
Juliet
just
Echo
wouldn't be able
November
to
Oscar is on final. Runway
Release
14 right.
something now.
How much time?
Someone asked. Sorry.
Are you restricted on time, Laura, at all?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I said that I could, I can join later. It's okay.
Cool. Okay, because we're going to go ahead and I'll go ahead and shut down the plane. And then we'll head over to Honolulu just to do a very quick sort of circuit in the ANA livery with some of the beta testers.
I'm sorry. The Infinite Flight livery in the back.
Shut it down. Oh, watch those ailerons droop. There you go. Just caught it. It's so cool. That's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
There we go.
Someone asked me in the comments if I speak French. Oui, je parle français.
Bonjour.
Oh.
That's all I know.
Bonjour.
Y un poco de español también.
Muy bien. We do all of our dev meets in French-glish. It's
Yeah,
Frenchly.
great. Great for all the other developers that are French, but I'm just sat there like, okay.
You speak a bit of French. You're good.
But enough to communicate with Uber drivers, and if I get stuck, I just say Spanish words in a French accent, and it usually works.
Yeah.
Right, what I'm going to do very quickly then is I'm just going to momentarily pause the stream. We can have a very quick 1-minute breather, Laura and Cam, and then we'll be back on when we're at Honolulu. Here we go, we're on air.
Things they shouldn't be asking.
Yeah, I know. I've deleted quite a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do we have Qatar Airways? Cannot confirm. At all.
But I mean,
Let's see, yeah. There we go. As one of the ANA liveries. I'm actually not quite sure what this one's called. I know they have very unique names, which is really, really cool.
Dan, did you just leak the staging server? Oof.
Did I?
Yeah, it said welcome to the staging server.
Oh.
I'm glad I didn't put a bad message on there. Like,
Could you imagine?
the bugs are here. What the hell?
we
Go.
do have a few servers that we test on.
do.
Staging server has a really fun feature.
Mhm.
Advanced thing that we can't show today.
Oh, I didn't know about this. I now need to know.
Yeah, you do.
Do I?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
You've
I
had a
do.
blast. You've had a blast with the beta testers. That's what I'll say.
Very fun. I don't know. It's probably really obvious. And I don't even realize.
Yeah, about the names of the 3 ANA liveries, it's been terrible to me as well. I never know which one is which.
Remaining in the pattern.
And can we look at all of the camera views? We can have a look. Oh, also one more thing to show you. Actually, you just saw the ailerons and everything come to life there when the hydraulic power was on. You can actually also open the flight deck windows, which is pretty neat.
Have you shown the milk, Dan?
For a bit of fresh air. No, Cam, this is your favourite thing. How could I forget?
I don't know. It's just.
Is it still back to front?
Yeah, it's her quality. Just for context, our artist added a bottle of milk in the galley. Then there was a bug where it was mirrored
the rear galley?
on the other side. Yeah, it's in the rear somewhere. And it just said milk and then Hilma on the other side. It was, I don't know.
Oh yeah, okay, I'm here.
I think it's towards the front, no?
Milk. There's this one.
No,
here.
it's in this one. This one. There it is.
And then it's.
We've lowered the textures now a little bit.
That's Kiln.
It's supposed to be stowed away for landing and takeoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is dangerous.
It's not FAA approved. Or EASA, or whatever your local authority is.
Right, I'm going to go ahead and take off, do a very quick circuit again. I'm going to park and break off and head out to the runway. All of the beta testers here. Got Lee's Aviation, Flight GT. I believe Flight GT was the one who actually contributed towards Narita.
He was. Absolutely amazing airport editor. Great beta tester.
Damn. I don't know if you just saw that. Laura, if you're watching the stream on a second monitor, 380 just went wild.
Yeah, I saw.
Casual server.
Well, this is essentially the second casual server, but only available to staff and basic.
There's no rules for this one.
There's no rules.
You can do whatever.
Go ahead and close this. Oh, I can't. Wait, the brakes need to be on. There we go. Okay, let's
This
go.
one may have jet blast too, right?
Maybe.
Jet
Wait.
blast?
You say?
What?
Maybe, I don't know.
That'd be
We
fun.
do. Someone's asking if we have the first class seats. We didn't do first class seats. That's why.
Maybe
Sure.
a little bit of context on, why there isn't a full cabin might be helpful for some to understanding why there isn't a full cabin.
Mostly because it takes a lot of polygons. The model itself is the biggest we have at this point. It's a lot of polygons, a lot of textures. So we have ways in the new engine to make seats like repeatable features work better, but for now we can't do that. We need a little more work on the dev side and on the artist side. It's got to do with multiple UV coordinates.
And it's also like, if you're flying it's a flight simulator as well, so we prioritize a little bit. Like someone asked before, like why if we're adding all the different types of first class or different seating configurations. Well, that'd be very cool. It's this aircraft's taken quite a long time already, and you're not. You can sit in first class in the sim, but it's not going to feel like the real thing. So, yeah, you can be a pilot in Infinite Flight, and we recommend hopefully one day you get to fly the actual thing. It would be fun.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like you say, it's a flight simulator, not a cabin simulator. So passenger simulator.
Yeah.
Someone says you forgot to turn on your other engines.
Did I? Oh, I did. I taxied on one engine.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been funny. You shouldn't have said anything. That would have been great.
Daniel K.
It's taking ages.
Sierra Uniform Sierra Hotel India.
Let's, I'll give a special message to all of the beta testers right now. Let's take off and go wild.
Let's
have fun.
Holding short runway 8 left.
So Ryan Lim is asking what's the progress on Project Metal. I talked about it earlier in the video. You can go back and watch it once the stream is done.
Yeah, what we'll do as well at some point after the stream takes a little bit of time to do it, but we'll go ahead and timestamp the stream as well later this evening, so that for those of you that want to watch it back and want to watch specific moments for specific questions, you'll easily be able to identify where that question is and where to watch it in the video. So it's a little bit easier for you when you watch it back. Hey, Base EK, what's going on? Welcome to the stream in Southwest 2115. Good to see you back here.
Sierra is taking off runway 8 left. Remaining in the pattern. Daniel K. No traffic. Oscar Kilo Sierra.
Dan, show us upstairs.
Is inbound. Request traffic.
Yeah, there's been a few questions about the upstairs.
Let's have a look. Let's go back through the cabin first. Also lining up on the runway as we speak, so I'll just make this very, very quick.
Foxtrot Alpha 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 Tango Super is taking off runway 8 left. Remaining.
Just go up here through the curtain. Pop. It's exactly the same as the downstairs.
No, it's got the little bins on the side for
All
storing.
the bins, yeah. And this is actually,
Yeah.
if you haven't flown on a 380, it's like this in real life. You have extra storage upstairs if you're sitting by a window, which is honestly like really nice.
That's only in business class though.
Is it?
Yep.
You sure?
No, it's
in
in
economy.
economy as well.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah,
it's
not
like
on-
throughout the
not
whole
on
cabin.
Airfrance.
No?
Oh, it's on BA.
I don't remember
Interesting.
seeing that on Air France. Yeah. I think I saw it only in business class, and it was like the business class on Air France were like the slanted seats. They were not lie flat.
Oh, really?
Yep. That's why I was looking forward to.
Well, Dan's a guy who's flying around testing all the business class for our YouTube channel now, so someone else will have to fly the A380 to watch Caution report if it's...
Well, speaking of that, we'll be flying back from LA on a 380, so you can expect a video on that one. That should be very fun.
Cool.
Now wait.
Got a very exciting collab coming up, so keep your eyes peeled for that.
Daniel K. No traffic.
But now
Juliet Alpha
Dan
Alpha
started
Bravo
with
is
like
taking
Ryanair
off runway
videos
8
and
left.
EasyJet.
Remaining in the pattern.
And now he's like, there's this first class, thing on the other side of the world. Well, how about this for the video?
Well, a very cheap first class ticket with Emirates. No, genuinely as well. If anyone wants to experience a very cheap first class ticket of Emirates, you fly from Bangkok to Hong Kong, you can get first class, the suite, everything, all of the good stuff, for around £400 or so, which is quite crazy actually.
It's a good deal.
It's a very good deal.
Not bad.
So this Maxim Flying who says, hey Laura, Dan Cam, awesome work on the 380. My father worked on the 380 and said the level of detail is just incredible. Well,
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, until the guy goes ahead and does a loop there and kind of ruins
Yeah.
it. But yeah, thank you.
let's just say
Judgment runs
we're in indirect law here. Like all the breakers for all the systems are disconnected.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, Maxime says that all the Air France A380s are currently being scrapped in park and Deadwood. So yeah, it's a shame. Such an incredible plane.
It's an incredible plane, incredible livery, and an incredible island to fly around as well. It's very nice.
one of the OGs in Internet Flight too.
Yeah. Remember the days where I would do a and Cam, it's actually really interesting. You reposted one of these on the Live Flight Instagram account many years ago now. I just set a flight plan around the Hawaii region like 4 times, and it took like 4 hours or something like that. I shared it with the KML file, and you repost it on your Instagram. Those are the Infinite Flight post days.
Back in the Live Flight days as well. I actually removed it from iOS this week because it's so old, and it's a good shout out as well for Ethan's app, Infinite Info. He's built a really cool modern iOS flight tracker. I really recommend checking it out if you're on iOS.
It's very nice.
Gonna put Live Flight out of business.
Well, I took it off the store, so it's too late.
There's a question. Someone asking me, because on Discord people see that I'm running Visual Studio constantly, and they're asking what my longest streak of Visual Studio is. I think it was like a couple of months over the summer last year.
How?
Right?
Wait, what?
Software's terrible. How does it last so long?
So the only reason why it stops is because either Visual Studio crashes or my computer crashes. And I've had those quite a few times the past like month or 2.
Yeah, Flora's offline in Slack as well. It's because her computer's crashed normally.
I suppose that's what happens when you leave it on like 24 hours every single day.
It used to work fine. I don't know. Something's going on. Something's up.
But this is the thing that absolutely blew my mind when I saw Laura's setup. Like, does your PC ever turn off? She's like, nope. What?
Then you have to understand. Like I have multiple because we do multiple things at once. So I'll be working on the server sometimes, on the artists, building some of the content they send me, some of the bug fixes on a different branch, and I have all these instances running because I don't want to shut them down.
Right. Yeah, that's true. You have to fire them all up again.
There's a bunch of console windows to build content, to send stuff to the servers, and reopening all this is a pain. So I just don't want to do it. And also this working on Infinite Flight is literally the only thing I do on my computer, and that's what I do all the time. So except this and put it on YouTube and Twitter is what I do. Yeah.
I suppose that makes sense. It's a pretty valid point.
Yeah. There's lots of questions about the dev button.
There's a lot of questions. I've seen quite a few, about that.
Dan, why don't you press it and show them one of the menus?
Do I have special permission to go through the menus?
Yeah, you can show. You can show. It's fine.
Okay. Yay. Well, here's some fun stuff.
Okay, I'll comment. We'll comment on.
So shall I just filter through the pages and then you can just talk about them?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we'll do that then.
The first one is +1000 is just to change the altitude. Time is to accelerate the time. It's pretty easy, and we can slow down the time as well. Fate Explorer is a system to view all the states of the aircraft and the sim in general that we use for different kinds of purposes. And the last one is Scenario Control. Is for the missions that we have. You can see what stage you're in and what the next actions are and what the conditions are to go to the next step.
It's a multiplayer.
Yeah.
This is more of Cam's one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should probably fire it up as well. I'm just relying on the YouTube. There's only 3 buttons there. There's one to reconnect, to test a reconnection. There's one to simulate a background disconnection, and there's one to disconnect another way. There's a lot of other things. We have just these are for testing special conditions, like if you close your iPad, or I have another mode on PC where I can see all of the packets coming in and analyze all of the data. Yeah, cool stuff.
Should we show any other ones?
Yep. Go to aircraft.
This is interesting. There's a lot of stuff here.
There's a delay for us. That's why.
Yeah.
All right. So aircraft config. Don't show it here. I don't want to show my secrets. So it shows basically the configuration window. All the configuration of the aircraft is done while the sim is running. So you can change the lift and drag and everything without having to restart the app. I'm told that we're the only sim that does that. It's a big time saver because we can just, let's say the roll rate is not right, you can just adjust it and you don't have to restart. What else is in there? Show me the thing again.
Right now, should appear on your screen in literally just a few seconds.
Debug info, physics rendering.
Yeah, debug info is like it shows a bunch of data on the screen. Physics rendering shows the physics. You can click on that one if you want. Just quickly.
Click on which one? Sorry.
Physics, 𝗠𝗘𝗠𝗕𝗥𝗦𝗛, and then click it back out.
Done. Just a fraction of a second.
There you go. So that shows basically the physics, the way they work. What else is there on there? I think the rest of it is autopilot configuration things. Yeah, all the stuff that's at the bottom. Auto tune their systems to auto tune the PIDs for the autopilot. So when I detect the oscillation, it will automatically try to find good gains for the PID to eliminate the oscillations and those kinds of things. So that helps me, that makes me gain a little bit of time. Then I have to still tweak a little bit after that, but it makes me gain some time. And the rest of the stuff is just like the time and that stuff. And the other menus, I don't know if there's much else we want to show. These are the three main ones that we use most of the time.
Should we
MISC is just...
keep them?
No, I think that's okay. Let's keep them there. Not that there's anything to show. There's just... it's mostly our dumping ground.
No, Cam, you're wrong. There's one button in the deck, and it's the release button. But we can't show that one.
If we ever released it from inside the app, I will be surprised. Everyone knows that the release button's actually, it's one of those easy buttons from Staples. I just have it at my desk, and it's wired up to do this.
Hello, please confirm the Qatar Airways delivery is the only airline we haven't seen at all. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can probably answer your own question with that.
Yeah, we have the Qatar Airways livery on the 777, the A350.
We could make an exception. Unlikely though.
Go ahead and do one final landing on the stream now. One pro tip when flying an A380 is just make sure you slow down and give yourself plenty of time and distance. This thing is a big plane.
Someone's asking about tire smoke. We did show pictures back in the day of tire smoke, but it came with different things that we couldn't release. And hopefully with Project Metal, like the new version, basically, it'll be something that we can go back to. We're basically just trying to get this out the door. The new architecture is there for us to add new stuff without having to spend so much time navigating around restrictions of the engine.
$2,500
call out. It's very nice.
Then we add artificial ATC at uncontrolled airport. That would be nice. It's something that I would love to do. I did do some tests with some AI things. But yeah, we have other things to do. So at this point, but it would be nice.
Someone said, will there be engine trail in cruise? I think what they're referring to there are contrails. Is that something we could ever explore?
Yeah, I think so. Like once we have that new, we don't want, basically we're in a tough place right now because we could add these things to the current engine.
Right.
But anything we add to this current engine, we have to port it over to the new engine. So it's double the work.
Right.
So
okay.
we'd rather focus on shipping the new engine and then adding stuff onto the new engine. So we don't have to do things twice.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But it also means when we do it, it will be a lot more physically accurate in terms of looks, because our new engine makes it a lot more well, it's built in that we can make things look nicer straight away. So should be good.
Those will be fun times.
Yeah, it'll be very exciting to show.
Someone's asking about the Dubai terminals. They are coming, and they look great.
I believe I saw someone ask about will there be any tutorials for this aircraft? Yes, they will be. Tyler and Jason have been putting one together.
We're also working on a few that we'll have in-app as well. They won't be ready at launch, but we'd love to have a bunch of them in there just to, you know, you could fly it interactively, and if there's any special things you need to be aware of, we can make you try it straight in the sim.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's really cool. No, we've got some cool things to announce with our tutorials hopefully in the next few months too.
Just trying to land amongst like 5 other A380s right now. Real casual server status at the minute.
Sure.
What is the future of GA aircraft for infinite flight? Well, we have the 208 coming.
400.
That has been confirmed and it's been worked on.
300.
And perhaps others. We'll see. There's a question about TCAS. We don't have TCAS for the planes. There's no enhanced
100.
TCAS. However, for ATCs,
50,
they have a better
40,
collision
30, 20,
alert system.
10. Retard.
Before this
retard.
update, we were just basing the collision alerts on proximity of aircraft. Now it's actually projected position ahead of time. So expect a more precise collision awareness from ATC controllers.
Yeah, it's a cool feature.
Is there a 5 feet call out? Is there a 5 feet call out? I'm actually not too sure. Laura, do we have a 5 feet call out? No.
We just have 2,500, 1,005, 100, I think maybe 250. And retard is not disconnected from the other sound. It plays with the 10. I know it's not accurate, but we'll fix it at some point.
The thing is, though, it works as well. Like, you can still land fairly accurately.
Yeah.
And it's also just really nice. It increases that immersion when you have the actual Airbus sounds. It's pretty cool. Vacating the run, we'll just go ahead and shut the engines off here.
Try the mini game.
I should do the mini game?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it. Look down to the iOS screen. Go on to system. Yeah, let's just do this. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I can get a high score. Laura, what's your high score?
I think I did 2,500-ish.
Okay. See if I can beat that now.
It seems easier for me when it goes faster for some reason.
Scary. Oh my god, I'm like skimming. No! That was so... No! Someone's taxied through me and I can't see it. Great.
Oh no!
I'll give it one more shot.
Beta testers are being chaotic here.
So this Flappy Bird was... I gave myself 2 hours to code this with the help of ChatGPT. And it worked pretty well.
And it's great as well, like especially when you're cruising and you want something to do. You just look down at the OIS screen and see if you can get a high score.
I think someone's messing with you and taxiing.
Yeah, I think so too. I need to
Should we
beat
test the
2,500.
Should we test the report feature on this server?
Yeah.
This game has, like, I built it to have a little bit of tolerance. That's why sometimes it flashes red. But you're not penalized.
I just
2,500.
I double tapped the screen instead of the landing lights button.
Oh yeah, that's annoying.
I got 2,700.
Yeah, I need to find a better way to do this, but it's a fun game. When you're stuck at a gate.
Wow. There we go then. I suppose we could probably take some final, like maybe one more question or something before we wrap up the stream. We've sort of gone over by a little bit more than we expected to, so we'll just take one more and then we'll go ahead and wrap up today. And then, of course, you'll receive the update, I mean, relatively soon, so you won't be waiting too much longer. Let's see here if there's any... show global airlines. You'll see that. You'll be able to have a go with that when the update's out. Let's have a look here. Show us the upper deck. We've already done that.
How do you become a beta tester? Well, you have to. It's by co-optation basically. We have to know you.
Yeah.
Somehow. Sometimes we'll just have someone that's helpful on the servers, on the forum or on Discord, and who's going to be. We're going to perceive as tech savvy. They need to speak good English because if there's reports to do, we need to be able to understand what they're saying. But yeah, it's just if you're active on the forum, and you make yourself.
I suppose, yeah, like have a positive contribution. Same goes like for like the question of how to become a moderator as well. It's just being a bit proactive, being nice to everyone, answering questions, helping people out, just being a friendly community member. And then yeah, like you said, like Laura said, it's invite only. So
yeah, and some of the time we'll add people as well, specifically to address a specific issue. So I've got a bunch of very helpful Australian people I just added recently to beta to help me diagnose a network issue that only happens in Australia. And the requirements there are I needed people that I could communicate with and were happy to help out. So they now have beta access as a result of that. But it just really depends as well on what the bug of the day is.
Bug of the day.
Yeah.
Someone was asking if beta testers have the subscription comp. Yes, they do.
Well,
But they need to also test buying a subscription. So
Yes.
double-edged sword.
Ravy B, thank you so much for that. Okay, well, actually, this is a really important question. This is actually a relatively decent one to answer whilst we're here because I feel like there hasn't been enough clarification on this. From Virtual Pilot Jamie, will the 737 MAX be a brand new model or will it be a modified 737-800?
So it's going to be a mix of both. We're trying to refurbish parts of it. So the stuff that we can keep, we'll try to keep because the model itself, the proportions are okay. And it's well known that Boeing did not, it's not a new design.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of following their lead on that one. Also because it takes way more time to do. But yeah, it's a little bit of mix of both.
I think the question also shouldn't be what our process will be, but the answer will be it will be similar quality, or at least it'll have similar standards to some of our other aircraft. Like,
Yeah.
It's not going to be like we're just gonna put lipstick on a pig kind of thing. It's going to we're going to improve. We're going to use the starting point. I think it's worth keeping in mind, a full model like this to get the right proportions, build everything from scratch takes a long time, which people don't like. It costs a lot of money. So this is a nice middle ground that we want to try with an aircraft that's in very good shape to bring it up to the standard that we have today.
And it's going to be the third rework of the 737 also.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, yeah, because the very first 737 was questionable.
Yeah.
Oh well.
But that was fun.
That was fun. I still remember my first flight with that thing out with San Francisco. I took off, accidentally did a barrel roll and crashed. That was my first ever flight in Infinite Flight. The original 737.
Awesome.
Right, well, that being said, we've run into the 1 hour 30 mark. Laura and Cam, do you have any last things you'd like to mention on the stream before we want to wrap up?
I would love to give a big shout out to the beta testing team who did an outstanding job. Everybody who's been finding bugs, Jan, the Toms.
Flight GT, Dosis Rudy, Nico, a bunch of folks have been really sorry if we missed you. There's just so many, but
yeah,
absolutely insane reports we've had this cycle. So it's been great.
Been, a long list of bugs. So big shout out to that team. And
Awesome.
Excited to have everybody test the A380 pretty soon.
Oh yeah.
We hope you like it.
I think I'm most looking forward to seeing Dubai full of full of A380. It's gonna be probably one of the busiest airports.
Oh, and I don't know if we mentioned this about next weekend, Cam.
Yeah, can do.
If anyone's at FS weekend next weekend in the Netherlands, at Lelystad, or I don't know how it's pronounced.
Lelystad,
Lelystad.
yeah.
We're gonna be there for a day on Saturday. So
if you guys want infinite flight like bag tag or stickers, if we've got any, we'll bring some along.
Yeah.
Community meets up with Laura and Cam.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be the same as with Dan.
Hey, you guys are great.
Laura and I will make the TikToks not as good. I'll just be like phone at this angle, like, is this thing on?
I'm curious to know how many people watching right now got 𝗑𝗟𝗡𝗘𝗥𝗦𝗛. By our lightning.
Statistically, quite a lot of people.
Statistically, about 100 million probably.
Yes.
Which is nuts. Anyway, Cam, do you have any final things you'd like to say before we wrap up? Laura's had her part.
Let's just say a big thanks to the entire community for your patience and your excitement for this release. I know it's been a long time coming, but it's for us it's super exciting to get this out the door, and I think even more exciting to go back to work on the new fun things that we've been working on.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be great. Like, it'd be great to see what people think. Obviously, I also say be kind to your controllers and on the community. This I'm not going to say when I release, just in case people take my word seriously again. This release day, be kind. Like, the A380 is a big aircraft. It's probably going to be quite busy at the airports as well. So it's going to be a bit different than when we launched like the Challenger. But yeah, I'm excited to see. It'll be fun.
I definitely agree there. I think one thing to be mindful about is, of course, like Cameron just said about the airports. Some airports only have the capacity to take around like 3 A380s, for example. So, and these are some of the major hubs as well. So just be mindful of that when you're flying into an airport. You might have to hold off stand for a couple of minutes to wait for someone to push back or despawn. It's going to be a completely different dynamic at airports now with this absolutely massive plane. But on my part, Cam, Laura, thank you so much for coming on today and answering so many questions. Very grateful for that. Many questions that I definitely would not be able to answer. And thank you for the A380. This is great.
Excited.
Yeah. One more thing to say as well. Well done to Dan's hardware. It worked today. Good job on solving that, Dan.
Hooray! It lasted for 1 hour and 35 minutes. That's actually that's a very good point. Actually, again, I would just like to sincerely apologise for the delay of this stream. Really looking forward to that last week, but unfortunately, ran into some last-minute issues that, of course, meant that we had to postpone it until today. But just under a week, we're here doing it, and I really do hope that you've all enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Anyway, there we go. Well, with that said, I'll just go ahead and say the famous outro. Thank you all so much for watching. It's been a pleasure to have you here. Laura, Cam, thank you so much for being on, like I say, and answering all of these questions. And thank you so much to all of our beta testers that have helped test this plane and, of course, joined us today on this stream, which you can see just behind us, doing some pretty crazy stuff with the whale, very many whales. But with that said, I'm also really looking forward to seeing all of you fly around the infinite flight skies of this plane, and of course hosting some events with you all as well, some nice extra long haul ones to put the aircraft to the test. But yeah, with that being said, thank you all so much for watching this stream. It's been a pleasure. As always, take care, and until then, we'll see you in the next one. Keep the dirty side down. Bye bye.